والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه واتبع هداه وبعد. اللهم اجعل تجمعنا هذا تجمعا مرحوما واجعل تفرقنا من بعده تفرقا معصوما ولا تجعل فينا ولا منا ولا من خلفنا يا مولانا شقيا ولا محروما اللهم آمين. So it's good to be back, mashallah. Ramadan was a busy time. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among the winners in Ramadan and every Ramadan, Allahumma ameen. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy on our brothers and sisters in Gaza, Allahumma ameen. So one of the first questions that I decided to take upon was the student loan. Received an email, someone saying, Sheikh, a student loan is permissible. Is it okay for me to take student loan? First, student loan from the contract, that if it bears interest, then it's haram, as the way it is. But now, I think the federal government now, they waived all the interest. Correct, Karim? Yeah. So either it's in effect or it will be in effect next year. But that's an awesome news, mashallah. That means if they waived the federal government, if they waived the interest, then it's a good loan. Type Sheikh, but this interest this loan for you to apply as well, you pay a specific amount, administration fee. That is okay. Administration fee has nothing to do with the loan. Why? Because you can get a loan that is $100,000 and the administration fee still $50. You can get a loan for $2,000 and the administration fee still $50. That's when you know it's a truly administration fee. Those who fill up the paper for your behalf, that is okay. When can the administration fees becomes haram? When it's fluctuate with the loan. You get a loan $100,000, then the administration fee become $1,000. You get a loan $5,000, then the administration fee becomes $50. That is not an administration fee, that's riba, but in a fancier name. So for the student loan, my dear brothers and sisters, alhamdulillah, and I feel that we're lucky, mashallah, in Canada. I didn't know that you guys heard or not. Even the federal government now are deciding, mashallah, and searching the option for halal mortgages, halal finance. It's an amazing one. It's an amazing opportunity, mashallah. There is nothing serious that they are saying regarding the halal loans or anything, but they just are, talking about that loan to understand it. My dear brothers, if someone, and this is, by the way, some of the people really, it was a negative feedback regarding that. So, subhanallah, clashback from some individuals. Oh, look, the Muslims, they bring in Sharia law. They will bring it to Canada. I've seen some disturbing videos and disturbing individuals. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide them to Islam. Only if they know it's a moral way to conduct business. It's a moral way to conduct business. Anyhow, the federal government, when they started to explore, and they reached a couple of imams actually in Ontario and Toronto, the imam reached out to me for the process, alhamdulillah, that we started here in Alberta. Of course, I'm not going to disclose anything now, as we signed an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. However, my dear brothers and sisters, inshallah, Alberta will be among the first province in Canada opening the halal mortgage. Halal mortgage, my dear brothers and sisters, a law has to change. Imagine this. You're working with some clauses in the law that has to change to allow, specific credit unions to go into buying and selling. They purchase agreement. 10 years ago, that was impossible. 10 years ago, that was almost a dream. It is like nobody can, think like that. But subhanallah, it's coming reality when inshallah soon they will be announcing in November the first halal mortgage. Yes. It's not. They're still searching for options. What is halal? They do not know yet. There is not a serious steps is taken yet. So for that, my dear brothers and sisters, technically they're waiting to see what Alberta is going to do, and then they will replicate exactly what we did here, alhamdulillah, in Alberta for the Canadian Islamic Finance Board. Canadian Islamic Finance Board, mashallah, it's a scholar specialized in this from technically Canada. We have, mashallah, from Montreal, Mufti Zain is well known, mashallah, name in Islamic finance. And as well, we have Sheikh Hassan Shabbani from Calgary as well, one of the, mashallah, knowledgeable scholar for Islamic halal finance as well. Dr. Muammar leading the team, the chairman of the committee, myself as well, and Sheikh Abdul Rahman Fort McMurray. So alhamdulillah, we are very close by to be able, alhamdulillah, to say inshallah in November we'll be among the first in Canada to introduce that halal mortgage, inshallah. Yes. Yeah. Which I believe those are interest-free. Interest-free, right. The loans from the Alberta government, which is what most people are taking, is that the interest comes after like a certain period of time. 6 months. Yeah, like 12 months after you graduate. Yeah. Right. So for the federal government, mashallah, of course, it's a good loan, right? Take it and apply it back. For Alberta loan, my dear brothers and sisters, you have to understand something. When you enter into that contract, you know that has interest and it's a riba-bearing contract, even if it's 6 months. If you are 100% sure you will pay it back, it is okay. If you do not know, which most of the cases, when someone acquire $150,000 worth of loans, if he studied medicine, medical school, or he studied dentistry, he wants to become a dentist or a lawyer or something like that, it becomes a significant amount. And most likely, most of the people, maybe 95% of the people, will not be able to pay that loan back. However, the AMJA, the Fiqh Council in general in North America, they give exception to that, saying yes, if it's a darura, if it's a necessity. What does it mean? Without it, you cannot really study. Without the Alberta loan, you're not going to be able to study. So in this regard, they look at it, it's a darura and it's a necessity and it's a haja, because it's impossible. Unless you have wealth, you have money. But you decided, no, I don't want to use my own money, I want to take advantage of the loan, so this is why I'm going. That's when you get a sin. That is not a darura, because you're able to support yourself to study. Or your father can actually pay in your behalf and study this wise. Give me a second. So in this regard, if you're able to find alternatives, then you have to exert all the alternatives. Right? What does the qaida say? إذا وجدت البدائل والنظائر إن عدمت الحاجات والضرورات. If there is Islamic alternatives in this regard, then there is no darura or haja. It's not necessity no more. But if there wasn't, then darura is there. So this is why one of the lenient opinion actually that I found it in AMJA, the Fiqh Council, Magma Fuqaha al-Sharia بأمريكا الشمالية and so on. Even though still some scholar in the council himself like disagreed, but the leniency opinion was, this is the one I give fatwa on it as well, that you are allowed to, because there is no other alternatives, if you couldn't find any alternatives. I will add something before I take his questions. But Sheikh, sometimes there is grants with it. I apply the loan so I can get the grants. And I have 6 months interest free. So, and that grant, I cannot get the grants without applying for that loan. Can I apply for the loan? I don't need the money. I already have the money. I need $20,000 for instance. And that grant was, let's say, $10,000. If I applied the loan for $20,000, I'll take the loan, apply for the grants, get the grants, and then return that loan within that time that is interest-free. Can I do that? Go ahead. Again, al-umuru bimaqasidiha. The purpose of it. The purpose of it, now you are 100% sure that you're not going to fall in riba. Why? Because you do not need that money. You'll take that loan, and you have 6 months interest-free, good loans. And then you apply for the grants. Once you get the grants, then you can return that loan. And لا حرج في ذلك, and this is permissible. والله تعالى أعلى وأعلم. Yes. So, طيب, let's say someone wants to study medicine or law or engineering or whatever. Sheikh, this is secular educations. What is the darura? Is it darura to study in it? You have to look at it from different perspective. You have to look at it from securing now, taking a career or taking, a life that planning for your future and for your life now. So why the Amjad scholars, the one allowed that to be, what was the reason? Do you know what is the reason that they built that fatwa on it and they give it, this is a haja, this darura, yes? Because they don't want, if they say haram, no, done. They will only see the Muslims kid, the Muslim students, 90% of them in a very low job. Very few of them will be in higher education, like it become doctors and pharmacists and so on. And then it create a different issue. If we don't have a Muslim doctor, then when you want to ask the fatwa of someone in his end of his lifetime, and you want to take away the oxygen mask to give him, you will see most of the fatwa committees worldwide, they said, Tabib, you have to find a Muslim doctor that will give you, yes, from medical perspective, after he's seen all of that, from medical perspective, yes, you can take or you can keep the mask on. He said, thinking of that, which called in al-fiqh and al-usul is called maqasid, the goals and the principles, which technically stand on the top of the fiqh, and overwrite a lot of rulings and ahkam in it as well. This is why they said it is a necessity after you exert all the halal option. Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam. Yes.
Sheikh, doesn't that put us in a slippery slope? Because one could, give an example and try to justify buying a house as well, getting a loan for that. Like, isn't the Quran clear that anybody who's involved in that is like, waging a war against Allah and His Rasul?
That is very, very good. There is a verse in the Quran. Look, my dear brothers and sisters, differentiate between two things. The general ruling. Nobody of the Muslims said riba is halal. Zero, none. Every single scholar said riba is a haram. But there is a situation with this darura. I'll give you an example. Someone get laid off from his job. Now here, like myself and so other people, we rent. Right? Me and Sheikh Ahmed rent. Everybody rent. Correct? If I didn't pay the rent, because I don't have money, me and my wife, my kids in the streets. When I have an option to take on line of credit, is it halal or haram? Riba. It's a war against Allah and His Messenger. That's haram. So I have two options. Either to take that line of credit and stay in my home, or, azakumullah, become homeless in the street, me and my family and my two kids. Which fatwa you will give? You will say, oh Sheikh, this is a necessity. This is a darura. You're not going to say in this time or this part, you're opening. No, it's not. We're not opening again. But Sheikh, what about, well, I take mortgage and to go get my house, my first house, I need my car and so on. One question. Is there Islamic alternatives? There is Islamic alternatives? Yes. Ijara is one of them. There's alternative, halal alternative. I've been renting for the past 15 years in America and here. Same, Sheikh Mahmoud was renting as well himself. Most of the people are renting, but there is conditions. I'll tell you what. One of the brothers was asking this question in the States, and he said in America, he said, Sheikh, Alhamdulillah, I have money to be able to buy a house, cash. But then, subhanallah, in the same time, I cannot show that I can pay who's working cash or whatever, but it's a different issue. I cannot show really to the government that I bought the cash. I'll be in a big trouble. Am I allowed to go then and take a loan? So now, my dear brothers and sisters, he wants to, but of course he's going to pay it in maybe 5 years or 6 years and close that deal in. In this time, when I did not really, I wasn't, subhanAllah, into the fiqh of finance, and we're talking about 12 years ago or so. So I told them, you know what? I believe it's not. You're not allowed to do that. However, I'll refer you to my sheikh. And by this time, Dr. Ma'an al-Quba. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect him and preserve him. He's a well-known faqih into this aspect. So I told him about that brother and his story. Sheikh, am I allowed to do that? And I was surprisingly said, Sheikh Mahmoud, yes, he is allowed to. Again, there is an usuli rule saying, al-umuru bimaqasidiha. The purpose of it, not from to take the riba or the loan or pay the riba or so on, no. He wanted to secure a house, but if he did it that shari'i way, he will harm himself. Harm his family, and so on. So he was given the fatwa, yes, he is allowed to do this in a condition that pay it right away. But, Sheikh, now, can I still, I see there is a halal alternative. There is ijara. And I don't like it. Just want to get a house. Can you give a general fatwa saying, go to the bank, give houses? No. Haram. There's the general fatwa. Each case is different. From Edmonton here, there is a case, a brother came, and mashallah, there was a brother from Syria, came to me and he seen me. And he told me, Sheikh, I have mashallah 8 kids. One of them is married and have 4 kids. And all living in the same house. Good luck finding rent. This is number 1. I told him, where are you living now? He said, well, I'm renting, alhamdulillah, found the place I'm renting, but Sheikh, I had to lie in the application. How many kids you have? 3. He had to lie in the application. Not only that, he said, when the landlord come to my house, then some kids are under the bed, some kids in the car inside the garage. What is he going to do? If he knows that how many, he will kick us out. Oh. So he said, Sheikh, what am I going to do? If I left that house, where am I going to go? Nobody will rent for me. Nobody will give me a rent. So in this regard, my dear brothers and sisters, I give him the fatwa, go get a house from the mortgage then. But back in the times, alhamdulillah, before this last couple of years, there was no halal alternatives in Alberta. When I came here, there was nothing, right? But now, alhamdulillah, by this November, inshallah, the government of Alberta will announce that there's going to be halal mortgage. Very competitive rate with the mortgage one. So you're not paying even extra. So anyone now, he said, Sheikh, can I go to the... Wait, just a couple months. Government now open halal Alberta and see, subhanAllah, my dear brothers and sisters, we live in a beautiful time now. Halal everywhere. You go 15 years or 20 years ago, or some states in America, till now, you can't find even any halal company doing housing, you can't find anything. Louisiana at this time, when I was there by 2013, there was not a single halal company doing halal mortgage there. And it's very rare, there was only one restaurant selling, one shop selling halal food. The rest, non-halal as well. So, but alhamdulillah, here we're living in a time and where we can find, mashallah, halal housing. As well for the cars. Can I get a loan to get a car? No, you're not allowed to. Why? Because there's alternatives. There's halal alternatives. Sheikh, you mean bus? Funny. No, I don't mean bus. I mean you can get an in-house finance. Yeah, but Mercedes, they don't do in-house finance. If you didn't ride Mercedes, khalas, subhanallah, you're not going to the Jannah. So get something else. Toyota, they do. Ford, they do. There is halal alternatives, then there is no darura. So for now, let's say, for the student loan, to go back and we'll do this, inshallah, the halal loan, if the federal loan will suffice that person, that student, to take and to cover his expenses, then he's not allowed to take what the Alberta give him in the loan. But if not, which most likely is the case, in this regard, he is allowed to, but he must pay it all, inshallah, as soon as he can. Wallahu ta'ala ala wa alam. Yes?
If someone has a house fully paid now, and he wants to buy another house for business or whatever purpose, and taking halal mortgage that is upcoming, is it allowed?
Of course, halal mortgage. Halal mortgage, my dear brothers and sisters, and this I would like to take this time to explain. You know, I will give you a glimpse of how is the meeting in the Canadian Islamic Finance Board. You know, we started the meeting yesterday from Zuhr time. You know what time we finished? 12, midnight. We had breaks to go pray here, come back again, continue. Pray here, come back again and continue. People flying, mashallah, from Montreal, going from Calgary. All of this hours. And this is one of the meetings. Of how many meetings? So there is hundreds, but it's even thousands of hours worth of work to bring that product to a light. So it's not like, you know what, okay, how much you put on the table, and then we'll give you a fatwa, this is a halal. It doesn't work that way. There is hours and hours and efforts. Subhanallah, sweat and tears been put into that effort to make it a halal product for the Muslim to see it. So if it's a halal, we are making sure, because after all, again, does the imams has to do it? No one is forcing us to do it. So what we want to do it to serve the Muslim community. So we answer first to Allah. The brothers here not tell the message here, oh, either you get us halal finance or you'll be fired. Or it's not like that. It doesn't exist. All the scholars in that board, the Islamic Finance Board, volunteers. None take any penny for that work. Wallah, even Mufti Zain, the one who came, and is mashallah a big name in Islamic finance worldwide in general. He flew twice so far from Montreal, his own expenses. He's staying here, his own expenses. Same thing, Sheikh Hassan, when he comes from Calgary, he takes a bus from Calgary all the way here. Doesn't even drive, take the bus. That's how important, subhanallah, this is to bring it to Muslim community. So after all of that process, we answer to Allah. Because we know Allah tell you, why did you say this? Yes. Why did you say that? No to that. So when it's a halal product, you can buy 10 houses if you want. It's not a darura, no more making the riba is a halal. No, it's a halal contract. Murabaha agreement. Yes. Wa alaikum assalam.
Is it going to be monitored by the community for each case?
By the committee. Yeah. Canadian Islamic Finance Board. All that, not one imam, not two imam, all the board, they will be monitoring every single transaction in there and giving training as well for the employee in the bank, for those who will want it to become Islamic finance realtor, training, educating the community, all of that will be done. So,
For the institutions, is it going to be Canadian institutions, financial institutions?
Service Credit Union. Service Credit Union only now. So Service Credit Union had to invest a couple $1 million as well into that, my dear brothers and sisters, establishing the business and so on. I cannot get into details because again, non-disclosure NDA that we've signed it. However, for now we made it for individuals, not business so far. However, someone can buy 3 houses and then can rent them over. Someone can buy 5 houses if you're. Some people again, but it's gonna be into a name, not business-wise yet. So, alhamdulillah, my dear brothers and sisters, sky's the limit. So later on, open for businesses, open for commercial in general, open for that, put in deposit, making halal as well, investment, later on put in deposit. So all of that, my dear brothers and sisters, and when we work with non-Muslims, and they are specialized in finance. Do you know when they understand, they say, you know what, this way is better. And this is why, for the people that they are against it from Canadian, from Canadian individuals that say they bring Sharia law and so on. Yeah, and understand it first of all, it's not only for Muslims. The halal mortgage is, so let's say it's exactly like this. Halal chicken. You go to Walmart or you go to Costco, then this is halal chicken and non-halal chicken. If someone non-Muslim, he said, okay, I'm buying halal chicken, is he getting arrested? Hey, that's us. You know what? Go back for your non-halal. It doesn't work like that. That's just absurd. So halal mortgage, wallah, it's open for everyone. Non-Canadian, and this is what we expecting as well. Non-Canadian will actually like the terms for Islamic finance, halal finance, because it's fair. It's a more fair. So it's open for everyone. So I take long time, 9:30, it's a bit long. So inshallah, every Sunday we have this session. If you have a question, and by the way, I had 12 questions. I only answered one. But out of respect for the people that they attended live here, I'll give you priority to answer all these questions. But inshallah, next Sunday as well, if you have any questions, we'll open the floor as well. But after we go through a couple of the questions, inshallah, online. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وإلى مجلس آخر إن شاء الله والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.